Papers, of course, is next looking at what is happening. Big stories here. We have Tana Ayojina from Punch. He's here with us.
Tana, finally.
Yeah.
Tana, good to have you around.
Yeah, good to have you guys.
And
the lady in the house around. Yeah, of course.
I think Tana had something going on.
No, sure.
Was it technical?
We've had one or two partnerships, and so if you were going to come today, there was no way I wouldn't make it.
Okay. So thank you, Cecilia, on this show.
Exactly.
So Cecilia, no more break for you.
Back
I'm
and
saying
beautiful.
it now.
Yeah.
Don't break for Cecilia anymore, so that these guys will start coming out. Good to have you around, Tana.
All right, Tana. So
much.
let's start off looking at the papers. I'm sure you have the first one with you there. What's got you talking?
Sports.
Yeah, complete sports.
We have here treble master. Sanchez is first player to score a hat-trick in Serie A, La Liga, and EPL. And I think he did that in style yesterday against Leicester City. It was a game everybody were looking down on the Gunners. But you know, he's a player of class, having played for a big side like Barca. I mean, he showed yesterday what it was. I mean, over the weekend, what it was to actually be the star man in a team like Arsenal. And it went all over. He set history, the first player to do that, scored 3 goals in a game in tough leagues like the Serie A, the La Liga, and the EPL.
Wow. Huge one for him. And there's another second one. And
yeah, Iheanacho just agent slammed with sexual assault. I think for me, this is bad news coming for every Nigerian. If a young player like this has an agent who is involved in things like this, what is he going to teach the young man? So I think we need to be very careful about things like this. It goes to show the kind of person he is. And then we had an Emmanuel Emenike on target for Al Ain in the UAE. It was, a good goal. I watched it. But for me, I think, again, the team didn't win. Emenike needs to actually up his ante. He missed quite a few chances. I watched the game online.
And bring some of those scoring abilities into the Super Eagles.
And not to miss it. Okay, Egypt lining up Zambia and Senegal for Super Eagles. I think that's a huge one.
Yes, it is a huge one as well. I think it goes to show that these guys are getting really prepared for us. They are going to play the black countries, Zambia, Senegal, and you know these are very top opponents any day. So the Eagles just need to wake up.
Okay, Sporting Sun has this one, a big one. We have a Sunday list actually in front there saying that Mikel Emenike, they are not special.
Yeah, sure. If they are special, they should be playing with the top boys. Sometimes we have to keep the money aside. If Emenike is going, though a lot of people are trying to say it's for the footballing reasons, we all know that he is there. The money was tempting. If anybody gave me such money, I tell you, I'm going to cut off my white hair.
And you go.
And then I'll go for the dollars.
You get on the field of play.
For the petrodollar. Well, anything could happen. I could just score a hat-trick like a Sanchez. You know, I think for me, these guys are actually not special because Mikel is in a big club. He isn't contributing so much to the success of the club. Emenike has gone to the East, and I think for us, our best players should be. Our special players should be playing in the special league.
All right, let's take a look at Sporting Life this morning. We have something on page 6. Battles in Mar and Dendelo, talking about the friendlies coming up for the Super Eagles, NFF and CFF Congo to share gate takings 50-50. With the riders there, each Eagles player to get $3,000 per game as appearance fees and no match bonuses for either victories or even drawn games. So that one from Sporting Life.
I think that's okay. We just have a team we're trying to rebuild. Unfortunately, or is it fortunately now, every coach that comes is building and rebuilding.
And always building. So the building never stops.
So it never stops. If these guys could get $3,000, you want to stop it?
Oh dear.
So if these guys could get probably $3,000 like this
appearance fee, just appear. I mean, you can sit on the bench, you don't have to be on the field, and you get $3,000.
Yeah, of course, and a lot of our players are comfortable with that. They just collect their week in, week out pay and then sit on the bench. It doesn't bother them. So I think
it's bothering me.
Of course, we are there. It's not even good for our job as journalists. You know, I mean, what will it take us to report guys who are not doing anything? If they're out of job, invariably we're going to one way or the other get out of jobs. So our guys need to be doing it. We can't come out every day and we would have been happy if Moses was celebrated here and not Sanchez being celebrated. But we don't have these guys anymore. But of course, that is not to say we are bereft of the talents. We've got so many of them, and we know with time we need to start building this confidence into these players again. For example, if we have a highly talented midfielder who's very good, and he sees everybody look up to John Mikel Obi as our #1 midfielder, he won't be encouraged. He just feels if Mikel can't cut it, I won't be able to cut it. But now, so we need to put in more confidence in our youngsters tell them, don't look at these guys, you guys can make it.
Just
But of
focus
course,
on
we shouldn't
yourselves.
equally write off the likes of Mikel as well.
Yeah.
You just be shocked, he can come back one way or the other, and his chances, I mean, might change. His fortune might change. But for me, he needs to leave Chelsea. He needs to prove a point. Moses has left Chelsea twice on loan. First at Liverpool, at Stoke, and he's at West Ham. And he's been doing very well. So why can't he leave and prove a point? Prove his critics from
I think that's really a huge one
that's the
because
big-
you check the
that's-
money
that's
that
the
was
big
paid on
challenge.
him for coming to Chelsea. I think
That's
it was
the
really
big
huge as
challenge
a
for
teenager at that time. And of course, he has no. If you check it, I was actually looking. I was actually looking at the list of.
football now.
But Mourinho says he's a good player.
yes,
You know,
he's a
he plays to
I know
instruction.
Mikel is
He
world
plays
class,
to
but-
instruction.
Of course, AY, he plays to instruction. If the coach says sits on the bench and he sits, is that not listening to instruction?
Oh, well, okay.
So what else are you talking about?
we talking
Okay, but I think when you know you're not really, I love what Pedro did to Barcelona. He felt okay. He's in a big club. They're winning trophies every time. He doesn't play every game. At least he gets to play like 80% of the games in a season. But yet he feels he wasn't getting enough chance. He had to leave. Sanchez did the same thing too. So why can't
when
Mikel
players
do
are
the
ready
same?
to leave,
Is
they
he
will
even playing
leave.
up to 20%?
Perhaps
of
Mikel
the
is not
games
ready.
every season?
Mikel is not ready to leave.
He's in. I think he's playing some.
He's not ready
I
to
think
leave.
what his agent should do is get a good club, get the assurance that my player will play certain amount of games when he comes, except when he's injured. Then let him go to that club and start playing. Because if you look at Peter Cech and his Arsenal
Please,
team,
he
you
shouldn't
know
be the
that they have
Middle East.
agreed to play some percentage of games.
Zila says he shouldn't be the
Can
Otherwise,
he not
Which
be
would
the
help
Middle
revive
East?
his career.
why should
All
he?
right,
just
guys.
saying
Let's
he shouldn't be
move.
there.
Let's move ahead quickly. Let's move ahead quickly now. Still talking football. Let's bring it back home now to our shows here in Nigeria. Talking about the Nigeria Professional Football League, where indeed big things are indeed happening for the teams who are battling it out at the top. Just perhaps to give you the fixtures, the results rather. Yes, there you have it on the screen right about now. FC Fayouba getting a draw from Giwa FC 1-0. It finished. The Sharks 1-0 winners over Dolphins. FC Taraba playing out a 1-0 draw with El Kanemi Warriors. A big win for Eimba, winning 2-0 over Wiki Tourists, which means that they are top. They've extended their lead at the top of the table with 5 points. Lobby Stars and 3SC 0-0. It finished. Rangers 2-1 winners over Quarry United. Sunshine getting a victory over Abbey Warriors, a 0-0 it finished, and of course Kano Pillars and Warrior Wolves playing out a 1-1 draw. So those are the results from week 31. And they're the top four. Eimba, like I did say, 5 points clear at the top, 58. Sunshine Stars getting back to second at the point they were on fourth position. We were actually
Warrior Wolves
thinking,
had to drop 2
yeah,
points.
well,
That's the
you know,
reason
had
they
to
had to.
definitely. So between the second, third, and fourth, it's a fight to the finish. I tell you, 53,
Definitely.
52, 51. Sunshine, Warrior Wolves, and Wiki Tourists in that order. And in the bottom four, well, Dolphins 34 points, Quarry United 32, Taraba. 30
Taraba
points.
and Bayelsa, I think those
Bayelsa
teams will
United
definitely
on 26.
relegation calling
Wow.
so fast.
The
I think
bells are
the
ringing.
team that actually the game that caught my attention is actually the game between Kano Pillars and Warrior Wolves. I thought Kano Pillars, after that shocking loss, breaking that record, 2 games, they haven't lost a home. I felt by now they should tighten up the defense, so to speak. But Warrior was being able to net that goal. Mosquito. Oh, not Mosquito. Or what is his real name now? That's his nickname anyway. So was able to score that game at the death. More like when the game was almost over against Kano Pillars. What do you think of that game?
Yeah, I think Pillars have had everything wrong for them this season. They've not been actually able to hold on, and that's one of the reasons why
They're
you
like
find
the
that-
Juventus of Nigeria.
Yeah. For now, that's what they are. With all the
Exposition.
credit
I think they need to do
the
top
Kano
10.
Pillars side has, nobody would expect what has happened to them now
Yes.
to actually be doing that. And I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons why Eimba is sitting pretty at the top of the league table, because the other teams for me are not actually showing the kind of class they should in trying to overturn or overcome a club like Eimba who've been there, 2-time African champions. They have the character. I mean, they know what it takes to play in a stage like this. So you need a team like Pillars to be able to actually fight them tooth for tooth. But we are not having that now, and I think Eimba only has the title to lose.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I
But
think.
I like it. I like the fact that Kano Pillars is struggling. It's good for the league. It's competitive. You show that the league is competitive. I would have won the
I
league.
think,
Pillars fans really like
before
what
now we
Pillars
would have
say.
had,
Come on.
probably the winner and all
Yeah.
of that. We know that, we have 4
But
home
I'm
games.
not
We
like
have
you.
7 games left now. Anything can still happen. You
I
never
like
can
it.
say.
I like it.
Yeah,
to see that. So
Okay,
so
they-
the state
they-
government can sit sit up, do more for their football.
No, not really. I mean, if you check Kano Pillars, I think of all the government clubs we have, I mean, almost all the clubs are owned by government. Sure. I mean, Kano Pillars are actually the only team. Have you seen their team bus? It's beautiful. Sure, when they won the league last season, they gave them cars. I mean, whenever I look at
we understand the sort of PR state governments do only when their teams win games or win
So what's going to happen now that they are not winning?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That
when was the last time FC Taraba players get paid? When was the last time they get paid?
Leave that for me. Leave that for me. And that's why the talking points for me after match day 31 is the Port Harcourt derby. Sharks and Dolphins.
Yeah, sure.
Sharks no longer on that relegation fight. Festus Allen came, he struggled in his first few games, and now Sharks seem to have gotten through some sort of revival and are doing well.
And I think again, Sharks have been there for years, even though most of these times they've always struggled, they find it difficult. But they've played at certain level, you know, and I believe that has actually helped them. You'll just be surprised. Dolphin may go down, you know, but Sharks may just remain because they've got the character.
All right, all right.
Okay, another game. One game will be played today. That's the game between Barca United and, of course, Heartland. Because of what happened yesterday, heavy downpour. Of course, the game was postponed till today.